In this video we are going to talk about 10 dividend stocks for your portfolio. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Many corporations were forced to cut dividends as a result of the pandemic. These payouts to shareholders have steadily improved in recent quarters. Dividends increased by 4% in the second quarter of 2021 compared to the same period the previous year, according to BMO Capital Markets. This represented a 6.5% increase over the epidemic low of the third quarter of 2020. Number 10. The Procter & Gamble Company, NYSE PG. The Procter & Gamble Company, NYSE PG, is a member of the illustrious list of dividend aristocrats. For the past 65 years, the worldwide consumer goods firm founded in Cincinnati, Ohio, has increased its annual dividend. Due to excellent growth in 9 of 10 business segments, Procter & Gamble Company, NYSE PG, was able to beat analysts' revenue and profits projections for Q1 FY22. The company earned $1.61 per share, topping analysts' expectations of $1.59. Despite global supply chain issues, the business maintained its FY 2022 target of revenue growth of 2% to 4% and EPS growth of 3% to 6%, despite a $2.3 billion headwind from higher commodity and freight costs, which are placing pressure on margins. In addition, the business reiterated its intention to pay out $8 billion in dividends in the fiscal year 2022. Number 9. Morgan Stanley, NYSE, MS. Morgan Stanley is a worldwide investment bank and financial services firm located in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, at 1585 Broadway. The firm's clientele includes organizations, governments, institutions, and people, with offices in more than 42 countries and over 60,000 workers. Morgan Stanley was placed number 67 on the Fortune 500 list of the top firms in the United States by total revenue in 2018. Morgan Stanley, NYSE, MS, quadrupled its dividend distribution in July and announced a significant stock repurchase program to boost the company's value. The dividend will be doubled to compensate for the dividend freeze that would occur during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Number 8. Viacom CBS Incorporated, NASDAQ, VIAC. It is a legacy entertainment and mass media conglomerate with a global subscriber base of approximately 4.3 billion people in 180 countries. Showtime, Paramount+, The CW, and CBS are among the company's well-known network, studio, and streaming brands. The firm was formed in August 2019 as a consequence of a merger between Viacom and CBS. Viacom CBS Incorporated, NASDAQ, VIAC, is one of the few new streaming companies that pay a dividend. The company's annual dividend payment comes in at roughly $600 million. The corporation is refocusing its efforts on building robust streaming platforms. In this regard, Viacom CBS Incorporated, NASDAQ, VIAC, and Comcast have teamed up to develop a new subscription video on demand (SVOD) service in Europe, which will span 20 countries and reach up to 90 million homes by March 2022. Number 7. BristolMyers Squibb Company, NYSE, BMY. The BristolMyers Squibb Company, NYSE, BMY, is headquartered in New York and is one of the world's major biopharmaceutical businesses. The company specializes in cardiovascular, hematological, immunology therapeutic drugs, and oncology treatments. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company, NYSE, BMY, is researching around 40 diseases and has approximately 50 compounds in development. Opdivo, a drug for the treatment of solid tumors, is one of the most promising molecules in Phase 3 research. With a payout ratio of 26%, the company's dividend is hovering around 3.3%, close to its 5-year high. This gives the corporation a lot of leeways when it comes to increasing the dividend for shareholders. The business made a $20 million equity investment in Compugen Ltd., NASDAQ, CGEN, a leading clinical stage cancer immunotherapy corporation, in order to find a cure for cancer. Number 6. Intel Corporation, NASDAQ, INTC. In terms of sales, Intel Corporation, Nasdaq, INTC, is the world's largest semiconductor chip producer. Global semiconductor sales reached an all-time high of $144.8 billion at the end of Q3 2021, indicating that the semiconductor business is booming. Sales increased by 27.6% compared to the same period last year and 7.4% sequentially. However, the corporation is diversifying its business away from semiconductors as the market has become commoditized, with little room for distinction. The foundry business is a big bet for Intel Corporation, Nasdaq, INTC. Customers can use the foundry to get a wide range of silicon design and production services to meet their own specific product requirements. Intel Corporation, Nasdaq, INTC, is set to invest more than $20 billion in its foundry operations. However, dividend investors should not be concerned because the corporation has $20 billion in cash on hand, which can comfortably support a $6 billion yearly dividend payment. Number 5. Merck and Amp Company, Incorporated, NYSE, MRK. Merck and Amp Company, Incorporated, NYSE, MRK, is a well-known pharmaceutical corporation with a 130-year history. The company's dividend has increased at a compound annual rate of 5.5% over the last 10 years, with a payout ratio of 45%. The business has been on the front edge of developing therapies for lethal diseases such as Ebola and HIV. Merck is now in charge of the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite failing to produce a vaccination against the COVID-19 virus, the company was the first to develop an antiviral known as molnupiravir to treat COVID-19. Merck and Amp Company, Incorporated, NYSE, MRK, said on November 9 that the U.S. government will purchase 1.4 million additional doses of molnupiravir for roughly $1 billion, bringing the total number of tablets purchased to 3.1 million. The order will only be carried out if the medicine is granted an emergency use authorization, EUA, or complete FDA approval. For patients with mild to moderate COVID-19, Merck's COVID medication reduces the likelihood of hospitalization or death by half. Number 4. Abbvie Incorporated, NYSE, Abbvie. Abbvie Incorporated, NYSE, Abbvie, is a global pharmaceutical firm focused on research that was spun off from Abbott Laboratories, NYSE, ABT, in January 2013 and is now larger than its parent. Since the spin-off, Abbvie has followed Abbott Laboratories' lead in growing its yearly dividend, and it is now a member of the Dividend Aristocrat list, having increased its annual dividend for 49 consecutive years. Abbvie Incorporated, NYSE, Abbvie, has a dividend yield that is more than 3 times greater than the S&P Wink with tongue sticking out 500's average. Dividends have climbed by 13% in the last 3 years, and the payout ratio is now at 41%. Humira, Skyrizi, and Rinvoq are some of the company's most well-known products. Number 3. Citigroup Incorporated, NYSE. Citigroup Incorporated, NYSE, is a major financial institution that provides investment banking and financial services. Despite embracing a digital-first strategy, the corporation is strengthening its focus on the 6 major U.S. cities. Customers still respect the branch for high-value transactions such as mortgages and small business loans, according to the bank. On the other side, the corporation shut down its consumer banking division in South Korea and took a $1.5 billion charge on its books. Due to its weaker retail consumer segment, the bank trades at a disadvantage to its industry peers, but management is currently working on abandoning non-profitable areas and refocusing investment toward companies that yield higher returns. Since the third quarter of 2019, Citigroup Incorporated, NYSE, has been growing its dividend. The dividend payout ratio of the corporation is 21%. Analysts believe the corporation will be able to enhance its dividend as well as pay a special one-time payout in the coming quarters. Number 2. Johnson & Amp, Johnson, NYSE, J&J. Johnson & Amp, Johnson, NYSE, J&J, is one of the world's major healthcare firms, having been in business for 130 years and employing 130,000 people worldwide. The fact that the New Jersey-based company is on the 2021 Dividend Aristocrats list may be of interest to dividend investors. This is a list of 65 companies that have increased their dividend payout every year for the past 25 years or more. For the past 59 years, Johnson & Amp, Johnson, NYSE, J&J, has consistently raising its dividend. The business is at the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic response. The company announced on November 10 that it had reached an agreement with the U.S. government and the Vaccination Alliance, Abbvie, to make its single-shot vaccine available to the world's most vulnerable individuals through the COVAX humanitarian buffer. In addition, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave the company approval for its booster shots, FDA. Number 1. J.P. Morgan Chase & Amp Company, NYSE, JPM. J.P. Morgan Chase & Amp Company, NYSE, JPM, is a multinational investment bank and financial services company. Its clients include significant companies, institutions, and governments. The company's operations are divided into 4 distinct categories. The consumer and community banking category caters to the general public's daily banking needs. The corporate and investment bank section serves corporate clients. Payment services are provided by the commercial bank section. Meanwhile, the Asset and Wealth Management division invests on behalf of its clients in numerous asset types. Having a number of solid businesses under one roof has resulted in robust cash flows and dividend payouts to shareholders. The dividend yield of 2.38% is much greater than the current dividend yield of 1.3% for the S&Amp Winkworth Sticking Out 500. Interest rates have been low since the beginning of the COVID-19 epidemic to encourage economic activity, and organizations like J.P. Morgan Chase provide an alternative to lost income from high-yield bonds. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.